Nicely बिल्कुल अच्छा नहीं लगा था हमारे पूरा सीरियस करके यहाँ कर दिया मेरे बाद नहीं हो हमारा भी सेम है पर उनका खाना अच्छा है तो उनका लोग देगा तो नहीं है कि कल क्लास क्यों मेरे एग्जाम था पर अकेले थी चली तो उन्होंने एक क्लास करवाया फिर दूसरे क्लास में बोले कि आ जा सकते हो इसको
नहीं मेरा फोन अभी डाल के मैं रिप्लाई कर पाऊँ मेरा इंस्टाग्राम
ओ मुझे इंस्टाग्राम में नहीं था और स्नैपचैट इंस्टाग्राम भी नहीं है
नहीं है बस
वो भी नहीं है तो एज पर माय डैड मेरे को पढ़ाई पे ज़्यादा ध्यान देना चाहिए
I have Candy Crush in this phone for some reason. On third level, like someone actually played it. This is घर का backup phone, ना like everybody has a backup phone. तो ऐसे मेरी माँ का है.
You have?
Yeah, but it's too छोटा of a phone for me to use. Like it's an Android, but it's this much वाला Android.
I don't have that.
You know, what do you do if your phone goes off?
My phone is never on.
My dad keeps himself an iPhone X for backup. My sister keeps, like I guess, my sister has the same phone, this one for backup. I thought everybody had one. Popcorn. Okay, I guess it's because my dad belongs from like a engineering technical issue background. So
I need my dad maybe something, but I don't.
I said I'll give up my phone to the bankers.
Give up.
Like it only has Spotify and my SIM. Nothing else.
I kind of gave up my phone. Only YouTube and Spotify.
No, like I don't use this phone at all.
No, like no WhatsApp, no Snapchat.
Yeah, same. No, nothing.
Like, till that I have my phones are there, I'm not using this. No matter what. But then I use my mama's phone, so I put my mama's phone for everything, but then
Your mama's phone has your WhatsApp and no.
no, I added my friend's car number so in case there's any nice thing I add. Because I can completely because if it's my mama's phone then after a point in time when I need the phone then she's not gonna let me take it now. But then Sora was it still have to be there. So it's pretty shitty not being there at all. And then we go after a long weekend and like, you know what happened? So everyone tells you. And I'm like, oh, so if I have my mama's phone, at least some of the details each.
The thing is, I'm so sick of everyone. I had a polygon with my best friends.
The imaginary boyfriend one. What was the name? I don't remember. The one who we were holding hand as well.
Never with her, bro. She has been there since I was in second grade. Nah, I'm not letting go of her ever.
Was it Adrian also with you? Second grade.
Yeah, but we were friends, we were acquaintances. She was my best friend since second grade.
Yeah.
No, the friend Angela was an acquaintance.
So do you like her?
No.
Yes, first you will like her.
Yeah, no one did. She knows better. I say a little too much to people's face and it's very bad.
I think that's good. And everybody say it on their faces, you don't bitch about their real.
No, sometimes I feel like it's better to bitch because like who wants to know what you think of them? Honestly, no one does.
I want to know. I would want to know what every person thinks about.
It's a you thing. Some people would rather have you have it yourself. My friends, like I don't have school friends, na. I have like my grade friends. I only have like sophomore year high schoolers, not freshmen. So we don't talk in my grade to anyone. I only talk to 10th graders, and three of them decided to make it their life's mission. My so-called best friends to ask everybody to quit talking to me.
Why?
They just don't like me anymore.
What did you do?
Exactly, that's what I want to know. It's like they're bitching about me so much, and just like a few days ago, they were all drooling over me. Oh my god, we love you, Kritika, you're awesome, Kritika. Come on, bro, come on.
Are you wearing a chocolate?
Yeah,
See, it's
Because
really
I
nice
just-
now.
it's my sister's chocolate.
I have the same one, but they're like white sprinkles on, like splashes on it.
I have a total of three chocolates. It's one is burgundy brown, one is black, and one is baby pink.
I have this as a black, but there's a white sprinkles on it. Sprinkles or splashes or whatever.
Today's just one lecture now.
But 45 is a
How long is that? I'm not going to be able to hold it.
and the lecture will all seem very extreme. Is there anyone else going to come?
How are your exams going? Coming tomorrow, so not test killer.
No, not. We don't need that.
Yo, so I'm going to be alone.
I think so. 17. 5:45. Someone's phone? Like someone's call coming.
No, I won't pick up.
Who's call coming?
Soumya Shinde from last year. And you don't like me anymore. What do you mean? I thought you didn't like me anymore. But I'll call him back. What if it's something important? Because he's never called me.
You've seen the updated Spotify
Yeah, I just downloaded it on my Android.
and how it's like not allowing us to do anything. I don't know, this phone somehow doesn't have that. Somehow she just glitched into the premium like, Mama. Like she can put the songs in order and just this is it. Like, Mama, did you buy premium? Like, I didn't even touch that. So she just somehow glitched into the premium one. Are you calling them, Bella?
More, yeah.
Hi.
भव्या नहीं आया
He said he'll come.
है
He said he'll come.
हाँ
Must be coming late.
हम्म
Must be coming
He
late.
must be fashionably late.
पैशन
He must be fashionably late.
do you want me to start from where yesterday I have taken them or not?
The mock is no, I'm even fighting it from very finished off.
Because that is not there for your
It's not.
but we are conducting we are doing our mock test and all questions because that is the according to CBSE
Our school also has a lot of cut down on syllabus in Hindi, so like I guess it's normal for mine. Like have odd chapters in syllabus and out of syllabus. Is Siddhi supposed to come today or what?
Bhavya को क्या देखना ही दिया.
Now why is there a take next to Siddhi?
Okay. She gets Santa. I'm gonna I'm gonna do and all that. And she got me a few different fancy things. And it was feeling so bad. You got so many things. It's okay. She got me like this. was a 250 but 200 budget, but I didn't know the budget.
Today, 23.
This was fancy, so
Yeah, she had that and I loved that. So I
Okay.
didn't go out.
Let's see, just let's brief it. What are rights? Now Aditi has to tell.
Rights is something you claim
Ah.
from other people.
Yes. That is, rights have value only when there is they are used in a society. That claims when it is used in a society only it is having value. Then there are different types of rights we have studied. What are the different types of rights we have studied?
Democratic rights,
Yes.
human rights,
Ah.
and fundamental.
Fundamental rights. Democratic rights, the right to vote and all. That is what a democratic right. Fundamental rights are the basic right we enjoy as a citizen. And third one is human rights. We always hear human rights violation and all. As a human being, right to life and all, that kind of rights, if it is violated, we say that a human right violation. So these are the three types of rights we have studied. Then we have seen 4 case studies. Do you remember which all case studies we have studied?
One was the jail, the
Guantanamo prison. Okay.
Then
What was that? I'll tell you in brief that people were just taken from the country and dumped in that jail near Cuba. It was a jail made by US. So it was not seen from outside. Nobody could find it. That way, the people were taken without any kind of trial. They were dumped in. So where they were taken, nobody knows. And why they were taken, they were not knowing. And they were not having any access to the other medias or their own relatives or countrymen. So that way, human rights violation was taken place. Then second one,
was in the amnesty.
Amnesty. Amnesty International is one of the international human rights organization. They have come to know about this kind of human rights violation and asked that US government to release the prisoners and close that prison forever. But immediately they did not listen. But afterwards they were forced to close. Then third, Saudi Arabia, human rights violation. What was the human rights violation in Saudi Arabia?
They don't get many rights, like because it's a hereditary king, so there are a lot of restrictions, especially on women, like one man equals 2 women, like as per over there. And then so like there are no like rights there for people over there.
Okay, Vrtika, understood or not? Huh? See, the hereditary king was ruling. So hereditary king means people cannot expect any right. They were not considered as that way citizens. So no right was given. And the condition was that there was only Islam allowed.
they're not tolerant towards it.
Yes. That way, so much human rights violations happened in Saudi Arabia. But now there is a relaxation. Now there are so many. That is, even that the Hindu temples are also there. Christian churches are there. So not that much restriction. So earlier it was like that. Then
the I don't remember the place, but
Kosovo.
yes, there were like 2 groups of people, Albanians and Serbs, and then the Serbs are majority and the Albanians are minority. So one of the person was elected from the Serbs, and he decided that he did not like the Albanians, so they were all punished for no reason. They used to go and destroy their houses and take over their land.
So basically, what Hitler did.
The same way. Same way. So, Milosevic. So, this kind of human rights, there is a story given in your textbook also about one husband and wife, old people. They were sitting near the fireplace. That time only, the husband was snatched away and shot dead, and this lady was also running after them, requesting. Nobody was there to. Then finally, this the house was burned. So like that, so much human rights violations happened. Okay, you got to understand. Now, why there is a need of rights in a democratic country?
That's a silly question.
Huh?
That's a silly question.
Silly question, huh?
Why do we need rights? Okay, no rights, fine. Go do whatever.
See, it is necessary. Okay, that is what she told us. Silly question. Okay, that question is in a democracy, every citizen has to have the right to vote and right to be elected to govern. That is what a democratic.
Be a democracy.
For democratic elections to take place, it is necessary that citizens should have the right to express their opinion, form political parties, and take part in political activities. That is also another democratic right. Rights also perform a very special role in democracy. Rights protect minorities from the oppression of the majority. Come fast. Today not.
4:30 से था ना
No,
रेखा में मैसेज मेरा on 4:30 पे
no, 4:15. 4:15 to 5:45 today. No break. Okay. Rights are guarantees. That is very important thing. See, when there is no guarantee, then there is no value for that. When we are purchasing a product, immediately we ask for warranty card.
Yeah.
So if there is no warranty card,
You
then
wouldn't need that.
yes. So that is what the protection. When we purchase a tube light,
We need assurance that it's like something that is worth the money. Something
yes,
that
very
won't
good.
be a scam or a waste.
So this light, when we are purchasing, they will they will see that whether it is working first time. Then they will write the date. Yes. If it is 1 year guarantee for that, so the date in which we have purchased will be written on that. So if it is not completing 1 year or after 1 month when it is stop working, we can take it back. That is why the tube lights and other bulbs also the date will be.
Also, when you get a watch or you get a fancy watch, they'll make it like they'll assemble the final pieces and behind on the back on the metal plate, they'll write down the date and the time that you purchased it and it started working. So that every time you repair, they change the cell, right? Inside cell. On the cell itself, it's the date of purchase itself, the metal piece on the back. Every time you get a new cell, the date changes to ensure that the watch is properly functioning, that it's not going off without the actual duration of its mechanical functioning. My dad likes to collect watches, so I've noticed this little thing. They'll write down with a very thin marker on the corner. They'll write down the date and the time.
I haven't seen that. Okay, so the rights are having guarantee. Next is that this usually happens when those in majority want to dominate those in minority. The government should protect the citizens' rights such a situation. We know that the minorities are protected. Page 91. Okay. So that is what the protection to minorities. Then sometimes elected governments may not protect or may even attack the rights of their own citizens. So in that case, that we can get it protected from the court. Judiciary is the guarantor of the fundamental rights. Then that is why some rights need to be placed higher than the government. That is what the fundamental rights are higher than the government. That is having guarantee. That is protected. So human rights not that much. Human rights, one example I'll tell you, that right to life.
Definitely not guaranteed.
It is
In
not
today's
guaranteed. Anything can happen. Nowadays, when we are taking the ticket, they will ask whether you want insurance or not.
Yeah, that's
So, 1 rupee insurance milega kya? How can they assure that this journey is, oh, of course, they are writing on the ticket, safe journey. But what will happen? They cannot guarantee. Even we cannot.
oh no, if
Ah.
USA is going to bomb us tomorrow and it's the third world war, do you see? No,
So that is what it is not having any guarantee. But there are certain rights which are guaranteed. That is why it is kept above the government. Then, in most democracies, the basic rights of the citizen are written down in the constitution. Do we have such things written in our constitution?
yes.
Which one is written down? Fundamental. Okay, that is why it is written. It has to be protected. If there is a violation, it has to be, or we have a means to get it protected. Okay. So let's see what is the meaning of fundamental right. So they are the basic conditions which are considered essential to be provided for a citizen for his all-round development. One example, one fundamental right to equality. We are having the right to be treated equally. If the students of a class are treated in a different way, you can definitely demand that my father is also paying the fee, her father is also paying the fee, his father is also paying the fee, then why is discrimination? That is what these are the basic conditions provided to be treated in the same way. Clear? Next one is that after the inclusion of the Bill of Rights in the UN Charter, it has become obligatory for all member states of the United Nations to ensure these basic conditions, all fundamental rights to their respective citizens. Do you know when was UN formed? United Nations Organization formed?
Right after the World War II to establish
Hmm?
World War One, it was League of Nations.
League of-
World War II, it was United Nations.
United Nations during the wartime itself,
It
the
had started.
it has started 1942
And
itself.
then
It was started.
UN was the organization that signed the peace treaty to end the World War
Yes.
to ensure that no other country is being put to harm's way.
So 1945 it came into being. So when it was, do you remember, India was not a free country at that time, but India was a member. Though India was made a member of that the UN, India is not made as a permanent member in the Security
Yeah,
Council.
the Security Council had proposed multiple times when it was Nehruji's government, but he at the time did not believe it was beneficial to the country's interest to become a permanent member. Right now we need it because multiple times countries used veto powers that say that they support us against our our decisions. But we need it now.
But now there are so many objections.
Yeah, exactly.
So okay, so UN, when it is formed, in the UN Charter, this Bill of Rights was included. What is Bill of Rights? Bill of Rights was introduced in British Constitution. Actually, they don't have any written constitution.
What?
Britain is not having any written constitution like that. Actually, these all things are added like laws. From 1688 onwards, they started compiling different laws, and that laws are used in different occasions. They don't have a written constitution like ours. But in that constitutional framework, that means whatever they are following, Bill of Rights is one of the constituent. And that was included in the UN Charter. Got it? So after that, it instructed all the countries to have this fundamental rights to be included in the constitution. Got it? What was the background? Clear? Have you signed?
Let him be absent.
Bichara, so he thought that is 4:30. So today he stuck to that. He stuck to that. Then
It is the class's fault. It is not Bhagra's fault. Trust me, it is not his fault.
now,
Where do you get it?
significance and importance of fundamental rights. What are the importance of fundamental rights? Yes, you start with fundamental rights.
Significance or importance. Fundamental rights have a special significance or importance of their own, especially for the Indians who remain under foreign rule and oppression for a long time. Fundamental rights provide those conditions which are essential for the all-round development of human personality. They ensure all such freedoms to individual which makes his life happy and worth living. They provide equality of status and opportunity to every citizen. There is freedom from exploitation on the part of the state or any individual.
So,
Yes.
So, fundamental right is a kind of provision given to the citizens through the constitution. It is not a gift from the government. It is guaranteed or it is assured by the constitution to each and every citizen for the well-being of the people, for altogether development of the people. Understood? So it is very important for the citizen, especially Indians.
Yeah, because we were under imperial rule for over 200 years and we have that experience of not having any rights at all and being oppressed by everyone. So it is essential for us.
Essential. Bhavya, what is in your hand?
Mama, I was just silent, like my phone is on the remote, so.
So you keep it inside. So listen to that. Okay. No problem. Now, what are the special features or characteristics?
Special features or characteristics of fundamental rights. Like almost all the constitutions of the civilized states of the world, the Constitution of Republic of India has also a chapter on the fundamental rights embodied in Part 3 of the Constitution under Articles 12 and 35.
This is important. So, which part it is included?
Part
3,
Articles 12 to 35.
12 to 35. See, in the Constitution, there are two such parts. One, Part 3. Part 3 is about fundamental rights. Part 4 mentioned about directive principles. These directive principles are guidelines given to the government to make it. That is guideline only. It is not for full implementation. We cannot question it. So guidelines given to the government to make a welfare state. So that is what a directive principle. But the fundamental right is compulsory. If it is violated, we can approach the court. Got it? Part 3 and Article 12 to 35. Continue.
Some rights which are fundamental to our life are given a special status. They are called fundamental rights. The inclusion of fundamental rights in the Constitution itself has a special importance of its own for a country like India. During the long spell of foreign rule, the Indian citizens were disgraced and demoralized by the bureaucracy. In order to restore dignity to the citizens and save them from executive excesses, the framers of our constitution thought it proper to enshrine fundamental rights in the constitution. The preamble to our constitution talks about securing for all its citizens equality, liberty, justice, fundamental rights. Put this promise into effect. They are an important basic feature of India's constitution.
So preamble gave some hints. That is, countries should have these all conditions: equality, liberty, fraternity, dignity of individual, all these things. So this one have to be brought in a framework and to implement it. That is why fundamental right as a separate section included. Got it?
Also, India was, even before the British rule, India was under the rule of the Mughal invaders, and before that, it was being invaded by Mongolian invaders.
So many.
Yeah.
That is Indo-Greeks, Indo-Parthians, like that, Shakas, different
Dutch,
dynastic rule India had to experience.
India
But
was-
there is a kind of positive aspect of India is that there is an amalgamation, there is a kind of assimilation of that different cultures. We adapt it, and afterwards, good things we take in. That way, earlier time onwards, we got so many good things from
the knowledge about architecture and stuff was also taken from them.
yes. Yes.
Our fundamental rights have a certain
Peculiar.
peculiar features which are given as under. Our fundamental rights are universal.
Universal, given to all, irrespective of caste, creed, color, sex, or any kind of difference. Everyone, it is given.
The fundamental rights enshrined our constitution are bestowed upon each other and every citizen of the republic without any consideration of religion, caste, creed, color, or sex. Our rights are not absolute.
So that is the second thing. What is absolute? Read.
There are certain restrictions imposed on each of them. These restrictions have been imposed as a safeguard against encroachment by others upon the similar rights of one or more citizens.
Yes. So what is that? It is not absolute. That means it is not that final thing. There are some considerations kept.
Like,
Say-
right to freedom is denied when someone commits a crime and then put to prison. Right to life is denied when someone kills someone else and then put to life sentencing. Like they're killed for killing someone else. That is where these rights are not absolute.
One more example I'll tell you. See, women are considered as very much fragile persons. So
This is not
not true. That is why they are given reservations. So reservations are against the right to equality.
yeah.
If we tell about right to equality, so everyone should be treated equal.
But because they're not treated equally, the streets are
No, this makes okay. Kejriwal's government, they talk about empowering women and giving them independence and equality, and then they go ahead and give them a very special seat in the metro, and then they free their cost of traveling by the bus. and they don't have to pay for a certain amount of electricity they use, and then they don't have to pay for anything else they do, and now they don't have to pay for taxis. That's just making them more dependent. Like, you're not giving them equal rights, you're making them dependent.
This is what the example. See, we are telling that equal, but is that way equality? Some kind of restriction, some kind of cuts are cut. So that is what it is told. It is not a absolute. Clear? Got it? Third.
If at all there is an encroachment of the rights by the state, a person or a body of persons, we have been given the right to appeal to the judiciary and get them redressed. Even a law of the legislature in the country can be struck or down by the court if it abridges any of the fundamental rights guaranteed by our constitution.
Justifiable. So, if any of the right is violated, we can approach the court. If any law is made above this fundamental right, that law will be declared null and void. Means it is not having any value. That is, fundamental right is law above all, because it is having justifiable provisions. Okay.
The fundamental rights have a comprehensive approach. They tend to safeguard our social, economic, cultural, and religious interests.
So it is not limited only for certain purpose. It is a comprehensive one. Social, economic, cultural, educational, all these aspects are that it is wide open and included all these aspects. That is what comprehensive.
The fundamental rights of the citizens of India can be suspended in the event of a national emergency in the interest of the safety and integrity of our country.
Have you heard about the emergency? Indira, this time that you live, there are some kind of conditions which are declared in certain regions. If there is a clash, if there is a clash in certain area between that certain groups or communities, then that area, this 144 will be declared. It's also a type of this one emergency only.
Means public assemblies are not allowed.
People cannot assemble, and if they assemble anywhere within that territory, the police can lift them up.
So this happened in J&K, right? When there were attacks of like civilians amongst each other. This happened pretty recently.
Even that Mizoram.
Manipur clan.
Manipur. I'm just always confused.
People fled to Mizoram. The ruling party Mizo Front, which was very good allies with the party in Manipur, which is BJP, they withdrew all their support when people started fleeing to Mizoram, because that showed how poorly they were being treated over there, and the conditions were pretty pathetic.
So, what is that? If 144 is declared, this freedom, fundamental freedoms can be suspended. So that clause is also given. Clear? See, it is not that way rigid. There is a flexibility that these freedoms can be taken away in certain conditions. That is allowed. That time, that 144 is declared, one example. So you have gathered and police picked you up. So you are telling that we are not aware of, because there is lot of announcement about this 144 is declared, gathering is
banished.
So then you are approaching the police station or court saying that you were not aware of. No, you will not get any protection, because the government have implemented that 144. They will tell that there may be for 2 days or 3 days or 5 days. So that we are supposed to obey. So that condition, your freedoms can be taken.
Gujarat riots of 2004, that it was a state of emergency in Gujarat when the what do you call it, the train was burned down and then there was communal clashes. This is very bad
Many,
situation.
many areas, it can. They used to Maharashtra also so many times, the different places it was implemented. So
And
we
even
can
Maharashtra had
Maharashtra also
emergency.
many times because communal clashes used to emerge.
Over here,
Yes, Hindu Muslim political clashes. Then among the Hindu community, that regional wise clashes.
yes, it was caste clashes. Yes.
Caste clashes. So this type of conditions, what can be done? Fundamental rights can be suspended. Is it clear? Now, which are the fundamental rights? We are going to study in detail about that fundamental rights. You just read right to equality.
First, through the feudal system and then by the British rule, a class of so-called high-ups was created in India. The age-old caste system had caused the cancer of untouchability in the Indian social life. Right to equality seeks to undo these wrongs under the provisions of Article 14 to 16 of the Constitution. 18 of the Constitution.
So, Article 14 to 18 states about the right to equality. That is the name of the article. Right.
I've read all the clauses for fundamental rights in the Constitution. It's very like Constitution is very nice to read sometimes.
So, why this right to equality is implemented? We know that there was an age-old tradition of caste system prevailed in India. There was, based on this caste system, there was untouchability.
Yeah, but
Now,
not leave people's mind.
Now, in order to abolish this kind of discrimination among the people, this particular fundamental right is included in our constitution. Background you understood, no? Now, equality before law.
Equality before law, Article 14 establishes equality before law and equality in protection by law irrespective of status, caste, creed, religion, sex or color, place of birth. The Constitution says that government shall not deny to any person in India equality before the law or the equal protection of the laws. It means that the laws apply the same apply the same applying the same manner to all regardless of a person's status. This is called the rule of law.
What is called the rule of law? That you have to. What is rule of law?
It's
All people have equal condition before the law. Law is equal to all, irrespective of the status, irrespective of color, creed, caste, etc. Okay, that is called the rule of law. Sometimes one more question, if it come, you have to remember. Continue.
the Constitution says that
Rule of law.
yeah. Okay, rule of law is the foundation of any democracy. It means that no person is above the law. There cannot be any distinction between a political leader, government official, and an ordinary citizen. Every citizen, from the prime minister to a small farmer in a remote village, is subject to the same laws. No person can legally claim any special treatment or privileges just because he or she happens to be an important person.
So every person should be treated equal. There is a big question mark whether they are treated equally or not. The Constitution says all should be treated equally. See, one small example I will tell you. Recently, our state, Kerala, the chief minister and all the ministers, they have made that is one. ordered 1 crore 5 lakh ka bus. All were traveling from that Trivandrum to Kasaragod, and everywhere that meetings used to be taken, that is collecting their problems, petitions, and all. So that state was going through financial crisis. So why this 1 crore 5 lakh of bus? When this chief minister is going out, he needs so much security guards. So his car will come there, and all this protection forces used to come. So it is a waste. If he is open, he can call the people, come directly to my office and give your petition. So there is no wastage of money. So
They just wanted to go on a boys trip now. So they decided to waste the state's money.
for state's money, state has taken loans from all the places.
Financial.
Study about Kerala. Kerala's main portion, that is 60% and above, people are working abroad, and
Yeah.
this money is coming to the country, and all are that way rich. But in the name of development, they are wasting the exchequer, and they are taking loans, and all. Every Keralite is having a loan of about more than 1058 lakh, above one, that means on one person. So that much loans they are taking, for what purpose? Without taking loan, they can do the work. For this wastage of money is not required. I'm just giving an example only. So if that chief minister feels that he is the representative of the people, he will have that freedom to talk to them. He will not afraid of the public. Now there is so much to laugh about him. Means he don't like that black color. People used to use mask. That is when people know that this person is not liking that black color. Everyone will cover this black mask and appear before him. So he will order to take action against the people. So what is that?
That's their freedom.
That is their freedom. Mask
At
is
least they're putting on
required.
masks.
Ah,
Half
and
of India wasn't doing that.
and this mask is required, and mask of black color. So that is to show their protest. Okay. So what I wanted to tell is that if all are treated equal, there should not be any discrimination between the chief minister and a common man.
But the thing is, the chief minister has this constant threat on his life. If he weren't the chief minister, he wouldn't need that protection.
Yes, there was a chief minister. He used to go to the public anytime. That is night also. If he go to a place, lakhs of people used to gather, and till the last person give that petition, he will wait for, and he collect it. He used to read it personally, and whatever he could do, he used to do. And when he died, that means crores of people gathered to give his last this send off.
He's
So
a good person.
he was a good person. There is he never afraid of. And this particular party's persons throw stone on his forehead. He was bleeding. With that bleeding, he collected the petitions. That's the real person. Because nobody, if I have voted, I did not want the person who is in power to be a person away from me. isn't it?
One of us, right? It's
Ah.
supposed to be one of us who
Ah.
represents us.
So he is feeling that he is having a trust.
He's superior.
Okay, come back. Equality, you understood? Now, non-discrimination.
Non-discrimination. Article 15 prohibits any sort of discrimination among the citizens of the Republic on all or any of the grounds mentioned in the case of Article 14 as stated above. The provision does not prevent any state or central government from making provisions for the uplift of economically, socially, or educationally backward sections of the society. Moreover, residents of a particular state cannot be made condition for appointment to a particular job under the government. The basic position is further clarified in the Constitution by spelling out the implications of the right to equality. The government shall not discriminate against any citizen on ground of religion, caste, ethnicity, sex, or place of birth. Every citizen or shall have access to public places like shops, restaurants, hotels, and cinema halls. Similarly, there shall be no restriction with regard to the use of wells, tanks, bathing, what is that?
Bathing hut. No, it is open place that tank or like that. They public monumental no.
Bathing carts.
People used to go. That is common. See, earlier time, Mohenjo-daro and had used it. That way.
Roads, playgrounds, and places of public resorts maintained by government or dedicated to the use of general public. This might appear very obvious, but it was necessary to incorporate these sites in the constitution of our country where the traditional caste system did not allow people from some communities to have access to all public places.
See here, so vividly it is written. So, in short, I will tell you. See, right to equality is that equality to all irrespective of any restrictions. All the people are allowed to use the public places. Earlier, drinking water from a common well was also
prohibited for certain castes.
That they were not allowed to, untouchables were not allowed to use that. If the person die without getting water, that will be a privilege for that person, the other upper class. That much restrictions were there. So here, right to equality means equal treatment to all before law, equal access to all the things, even religious places, public places, all this equal access. But there are certain restrictions made to give this to those people who are not getting. That is what we call untouchables. Scheduled caste, scheduled tribe people, they were considered as untouchables for long. It was not a practice for, within 100 years or 200 years. It is for centuries. So that practice have to be abolished. That is abolished. But that mindset of the people have not changed.
Still in villages, people have to live separately. Even like if certain villages do have other religious people or like people that follow Islam, they're not allowed to enter the actual village ground. They are supposed to live around the fields and work for them.
There is remote villages still it is practiced, and that cannot be removed unless the mindset of the people change. For that purpose only, this kind of special provisions are included in the constitution.
Which is very much required at a certain sense. We do need it.
Yes. So otherwise, these people will not get normal chances.
Especially for religious minorities, we do need that. That is because certain housing societies have seen Okay, in Navi Mumbai itself, I've seen certain housing societies, like small housing complexes, that will not allow if you're a single Muslim man living there. If you're anybody of the African descent, they'll not allow you. Like, certain people who immigrate here for work, they'll not allow them to live.
See, among the Africans, some people are engaged in illegal activities.
Yeah, that is gang activities and drugs.
So that is why they are not allowed, because they are not having any proper paper and all. So when we are going to take a flat
Yeah.
in the society, we have to show so many documents. From where we are coming, what work we are doing, that some cases they ask about, that is our employers
Contact.
everything. So these people are not having any document. Even so many Bangladeshi people, they used to migrate to India, and they are getting dispersed in this state.
Two of my house helps are Bangladeshi.
So I am not telling that all are bad people.
Yeah, but certain people are involved in drug
Involved.
trafficking.
Yes. And some cases, if both the parents are working, and they have to keep that child with them, on what trust they will
Yeah.
keep them? So many such incidents are there, and they don't have any papers, any documents.
Human trafficking.
So that is why some kind of restrictions are also required. One of that restriction is that untouchability is made as an offense. If anybody practice that, either punishment or imprisonment, fine or imprisonment is made. Second is that a reservation to them for employment, education, and other conditions. So these are the restrictions within that right to equality. Already told a right to equality. So nobody should be treated unequally. But there are also some conditions are kept. These are the conditions. Earlier there used to be some titles given. Raja, Sir, some titles were given. Now these titles are abolished. Clear? So now let's move to the second one, right to freedom.
Freedom means absence of constraints.
Constraints means restrictions. Okay. What is freedom? You just underline that point.
In practical life, it means absence of interference in our affairs by others, be it other individuals or the government. Various kinds of individuals and collective freedoms have been guaranteed to the citizens of the Republic of India under Articles 19 to 22 of the Constitution. Although the freedoms guaranteed under these articles are regulated through certain restrictions for the sake of the public interest and safety of the state, yet they go a long way in making India a really democratic policy.
Polity.
The right to freedom is actually a cluster of several rights.
This one is also cluster of several rights. Some of
the most important rights guaranteed under the right to freedom are as follows. First, freedom of speech and expression, assembly in a peaceful manner, form associations and unions, move freely throughout the country, reside in any part of the country, and practice any profession or to carry on any occupation, trade, or business. Every citizen has the right to all these freedoms. That means you cannot exercise your freedom in such manner that violates others' right to freedom. Your freedom should not cause public nuisance or disorder. You are free to do everything which injures no one else. Freedom is not unlimited license to do what one wants. Accordingly, the government can impose certain reasonable restrictions on our freedoms in the large interests of the society.
Okay. So right to freedom. So right to equality we have studied. There also some special provisions are made. Then second is right to freedom. This is a cluster of several rights or several freedoms. That is freedom of speech and expression, freedom to move within the country, freedom to assemble peacefully, means without any weapons you can assemble.
What if you have weapons and you don't use them, but you're still assembling?
But that is given in that
If
if
your license.
in case no you just carried a weapon, so initially you were not caught, but if it is caught, you don't want to attack anyone, you it was for your self protection you have used, you have kept with you, but once it is caught, that will not be considered for self protection. You are in a public meeting, so that can be meant for harming others.
What if you have a license? Like, why would
No.
someone hold you accountable for having
No,
an
no,
armed weapon?
no, weapon cannot be. That is written in the constitution. So, if you are using in a public place, if you are having in with you, only this sick people are allowed to use. That is kripan.
Yeah.
That is the religious. So while checking, now you see that the recent incident, Parliament, 13th December, Parliament House, they entered. So if it is not meant for attacking anybody or anything,
You
but
still
now,
have it.
now,
You're a threat to the community.
yes. So that is why you are not allowed to have any weapon with you. Okay. Then form associations and unions reside in any part of the country. So there was kind of movement in Maharashtra. Maharashtra for Marathas. Maratha means or Marathi speaking people. Others should go. So then, according to this clause, it is a violation. We are having that freedom to
Live anywhere.
anywhere in the country. Freedom to choose any profession. Because earlier time, according to that work only the caste is divided. So they are not allowed to change their profession. So that is why our constitution give us freedom to choose any profession of your, because we know that many spas are opening, many this one is beauty parlors are opening, hair cutting salons, or so many new names it is opening. So do you think that they all belong to barber community? No one is belonging to.
It is so funny to think about like communities of people who were cobblers and who were barbers. What's the point?
Yes. Earlier it was they used to go to that household and do that work.
So what if your child has zero skills and ability to learn how to cut hair? Is your child now a part of the Vaishyas? Because no, the child is living unemployed or with a particular caste restriction on him.
See, earlier time a Brahmin child should
Always practice.
practice that one, mantras, tantras, or whatever it is. So, so only that profession they could take. Now you can find that they are taking up any profession of their choice. They are considered highly intelligent also. Now, second thing is that in earlier time, crossing the sea was not allowed for the Hindu. They will lose their religion.
I lost my religion.
No. See, earlier, British time, Indian soldiers were sent to other country. Enabling Act was passed.
If you only pass the sea,
See, crossing the sea and waging war, the other part. When they return back, they will lose their religion. That was the belief, earlier belief. So many
I know
Hindus,
why.
were reluctant to do, and they had to suffer punishment under the British. Right?
It started under the myth that the British government forces the grenades of pork skin and beef skin.
That is another one. I'll tell
It
you.
started with the belief, and Hinduism does not permit any of that. So that was one of the building blocks of Hindus feeling like they will lose their religious dignity. Then it was that the parents and the elders telling them that if you go to foreign countries, you will do certain acts that will make you more religious.
Bring back to
Yeah.
the religion.
And then it layered on another. You'll have alcohol, and then you'll hang out with people who are not of our religion, and that's how you'll eventually not be a part of Hinduism if you cross the country.
So, no, earlier it was like that. Repatriatory rights to be taken. That is when they are coming back. Now, they began to feel that, okay, if such kind of restrictions are made, they will not go abroad and get the job, and money will not come to the country. And secondly, they will change the religion.
Yeah.
If they are not allowed back to the religion, means they will take
choose Christianity when you back.
any religion. So this is what a reason behind it. So what is that? The people were allowed to take up any job, any profession. All these are the freedom, right to freedom. But if we are getting the liberty to speak anything, then without any control, if it is given, we will misuse it. Do you ever think like that?
There are consequences to if you abuse your rights, right?
That only, see, if I am given the freedom, you can talk anything. So, what happened? At my liberty, I speak anything. That will hurt you, hurt somebody, and that is my own this thing, freedom, I am misusing, as she told. I can talk about the president, prime minister, or administrators, or any authorities. So that is not given. This is what the hidden point. That is, you can use your freedom without harming others. That is a close capture.
I think one of the issue for 5 minutes, it's coming directly right now. Thank you, Mother, for not protesting.
No, he is not.
He's used to it now.
चाहिए तो चाहिए
Manoj.
We professors used to talk about this class.
And our easy issue.
Yes, we should.
Easy tantrums.
We professors, no, those who are coming.
It's a well-known issue. I think it's time we raise it in the parliament.
CBSE, Sanpada batch means the first talk comes about.
Bhavan, Ritika, the issue. Easy issue.
Okay. Okay. Literally, we don't have the time. So you understood the restriction? Everything comes with another clause hidden in it. Now, right to assemble peacefully and without arms. That is, without arms is the restriction there. Right to form associations or unions. So,
yes.
So people are forming that unions to get their rights fulfilled. Trade unions are there, workers unions are there, so many such unions are there. So that is allowed. Okay. Right to free movement. Do we need any passport traveling within the country?
Which country needs that?
No, if we are going outside.
Like within the country, are there any countries who need
No passport. Within the country, no.
Some countries don't even need passport to go to particular countries in Europe.
now India got a certain that kind of this thing grant with some agreement. Because of some agreements, this country we don't need to take
But
passport.
like in Europe, many countries are there, no? Like if you go to like France, then you can go to Switzerland also. and Germany.
France to England also they can go.
Yeah, like
It is
without
crossing
separate
in.
passports
Ah.
or visas or-
It's
Yes.
because they all come under
Only
European
this-
Union, no?
A European Union
So you
country.
are you directly take the visa for Europe. You don't take it for
Yeah.
See that visiting visa, if you are taking, you
It's
can
approved
travel.
by the European Union,
To
not a
as
particular
when you
country.
reach one country,
Eh?
to as when you reach one different country,
Hmm.
it takes more than 2 hours to move inside India.
Yeah, because India is the seventh largest country. Think about it. European Union is a bunch of very small countries. You just think they are large in size.
Hmm.
So Delhi with the price only.
Which all countries you have gone?
Not few only. Dubai, Singapore, Malaysia.
Okay.
Asian country. And Dubai.
You?
Dubai is Asian. no?
Is it?
Yes.
My geography is very bad, you know.
3-4 घंटों में आ जाता है.
Ah.
Dubai, bro.
Dubai.
Say UAE.
Dubai is
Sorry.
We can get Mumbai to Dubai. It is hardly 3 hours. Because it is crossing that Arabian Sea and then going. No, so through that time is very much saved. But there is a timeline. Means India when it is having 6 o'clock.
नहीं, 4. One more. Thailand.
They are that country is having I think 11 o'clock or like no, when India is having 11 o'clock, they are having 7 o'clock.
Time difference.
Time.
तो आज
You have gone to 8 countries.
कौन सा?
Which?
European countries?
Like Singapore, Malaysia, Bangkok,
Bangkok what?
Bangkok.
नहीं ऐसा इसका कुछ भी ऐसा ही नाम
ये
था
बैंकॉक तो थाईलैंड में ही है ना?
हाँ but काउंट कर रहा हूँ मैं Bangkok, Shenzhen, Macau, Hong Kong and Dubai
How? Through food or like that?
His family is big on
No,
traveling.
we are thinking to go to like London and Amsterdam.
अरे मेरा अमेरिका का 3 बार फ्लाइट कैंसिल हुआ.
Visa
Like,
denied.
लॉकडाउन.
Not this
Then
time, next year, like some vacation.
Okay. Very good.
Disneyland.
Next year means
Disneyland I visited.
after 10th standard.
Huh?
After 10th standard.
I guess.
Okay.
Me and my sister are very
Ritika?
good.
Which all country?
It is because the first passport me and my sister we created, it was under some particular provision because it was very young. We were not even properly 2 years of age and we had
So you went to foreign
No, we could not go. We
Yeah.
could not go the first time around, and then we could not update the passport until we were 15. It needs 15 years of time, and then we changed the passport, and now we are having troubles getting visas.
So
My poor father goes alone. My poor father goes alone
My
every year.
papa goes every 2-3 months.
Yeah,
Thailand.
company trips all paid for.
Bro, Thailand में आपको मैं like इसकी जरूरत नहीं है वीजा की तो पासपोर्ट ले लो
चलो भाई मैं भी निकलती हूँ.
Okay.
ये बैंकॉक और थाईलैंड सेम ही है.
अरे और भी 2-4 जगह
Yes,
जैसे
sir.
वियतनाम भी
हाँ.
हो गया
Now,
नहीं अभी ये नहीं like इस साल में ही आया
Bro, it's like India and Mumbai में जा सकते हैं.
Yes, चलो इंडिया मुंबई घूम के आते हैं.
okay.
India भी जाएंगे मुंबई.
Over now. Now let's
After
come
we
back.
want to go India and Mumbai.
Right to form association we have studied, right to free movement we have studied, right to reside and settle in any part of the territory in India. See, we are having that provision to purchase land, property in any part of the country. Earlier, we were not allowed to purchase property in Jammu and Kashmir.
Yeah, it was.
Now, that article, this thing, 370, when it is removed, that is also allowed. right to practice any profession or to carry on any occupation. That all things we have studied. Now you just, whose turn is that? Your turn.
Ritika.
Limitation you just.
The right to freedom is not, however, absolute. In the interest of the sovereignty and integrity of India, the security of the state, public order, decency, and morality, certain limitations can be imposed on the exercise of this right, and sometimes a person can be detained and even arrested. Various laws passed by Parliament, like MISA, ESMA,
Full form also you have to learn.
MISA, Maintenance of Internal Security Act, ESMA, Essential Services Maintenance Act, Preventative Detention Act have imposed certain restrictions on the exercise of the right to freedom.
Okay. See, this ESMA, MISA, and then preventive detention. These three rules are passed to restrict unlimited freedoms. See,
Mine is unlimited freedom, too much fun for it.
Your unlimited freedom will then violate someone else's freedom.
see, that also there. See, some earlier Rath Yatras used to be
Yes.
Ayodhya and all that issue was going on. So their movement, their Rath Yatra through that state can trigger some kind of violence in that region. By seeing that, they can be arrested and kept in detention.
The people conducting the Rath Yatra or
Yes.
the people imposing violence?
No, that is that leaders' presence in that particular place can trigger.
Okay.
You remember that before that 370 was taken out, that all the political leaders were detained and they were kept in custody for more than 6 months or like that till that implementation. So that is what preventive detention, in order to prevent the trigger of violence. Clear? ESMA and all also you have to learn. Now, protection against arrest and detention. First, you just continue.
Protection against arrest and detention. The Constitution says that no person can be deprived of his life or personal liberty except according to procedure established by law. It means that no person can be killed unless the court has ordered a death sentence. It also means that a government or police officer can arrest or detain any citizen unless he has a proper legal justification.
Okay, then let us see. I'll tell you in brief. Already I told about that preventive detention. In order to prevent any type of violence, or if the presence of that person can trigger violence, as a preventive measure, they can be arrested and kept in custody. Secondly, is that if a person is arrested, so proper warrant to be shown. That is why that person is arrested, and arrested person is taken to which place. This to be clearly mentioned. Now, within 24 hours, that person should be produced before a magistrate. And the magistrate will decide whether to be kept in custody
Or to be released.
So this is what the protection we are having.
And what about the person getting a bail or like out of jail, regardless of them still being told by the magistrate to stay, like if their bail gets approved?
No, actually bail is getting afterwards.
Yeah, that's what. If after 24 hours you're presented in front of a magistrate, you have to stay in prison. But what if even after that you appeal for a bail? How is that logical?
No, if the police says that we need this person in custody for at least 2 days or 5 days, to collect or gather that all this proofs against that
Can
person.
you bail a person out at any given, like if the crime
Depends
is
on the
very
severity
bad,
of the crime. If you're a danger to society,
then you can't
you
bail
cannot
them
be,
out, no?
or if you're at threat of leaving the country, fleeing fleeing the country and not being held accountable for the crime, then also you are not given a bail. If
So
you have-
until what
and
point
also
can we-
See, now, if I am arrested, so just for very silly doubt, I am arrested. So when I am produced before that magistrate, the magistrate found that there is no reason for arresting and keeping me in custody. So immediately that magistrate can release me on some terms. Because police have arrested, no, they have the right to collect that information about me, whether I was a person who created some nuisance to the society, or my details have to be collected, no. So that is why on certain conditions, that is at least two
You
guarantors or some amount.
And you don't need the jurisdiction of the police station
Yes.
for as long as you're under warrant.
Yeah, if they are, if I am released on bail, means bail conditions I have to. So that is sometimes some amount have to be deposited.
You need to give a lot of money to be put out of bail. Like it depends on the crime again.
Crime.
If you have
Depends.
committed a theft for let's say 500,000 Indian rupees, then your bail will be set much higher than what amount you stole. And if you have killed someone, your bail will be put to an unreasonable amount so that you cannot bail yourself out.
And guarantor is,
More than that, it can be an unreasonable amount.
see, what is that? More than that, two guarantors are
Yes,
required.
that you do
If I run away, these guarantors will be caught.
yeah, they'll have to ensure that you're
They,
here.
so that is the condition. So if that magistrate find that, see, I am not such kind of person, I cannot commit such kind of crimes, so then he can release. Otherwise, minimum 14 days they will ask. 7 days or 14 days they will ask. Now, if holidays are coming, magistrate is not in the office, so I should be produced before the magistrate at home. And there also magistrate can give.
No chutti, bro, no chutti for magistrate.
Understood? So that is what the protection. Then detention you understood, no? Preventive detention. Now we are moving to the third one. Right against exploitation. Now, right to equality, right to freedom.
Right against exploitation.
Ah. What is that? Right to exploit is there or what?
Why do we need that? Right against exploitation. What sort of exploitation are we talking about?
You just read it, then you will understand. Human trafficking. Let her. You.
The Constitution under Article 23 and 24 puts a firm end to such exploitation as forced labor, beggary, trafficking women and children, and justified underpaying.
How is begging
Not begging. Here begging no. Bagari. Bagari means forced labor. Bagar is an activity of forced labor. That means
Trafficking only women and
Hu-
children
huh?
and women.
Yeah. Also, domestic abuse only comes for women and children. Sexual abuse only comes for women and children. A lot of laws in India are not for men. They don't even consider them as victims if that happens to them.
I mean, they will also be.
They only
yes, they are also victims.
So
sometimes.
then why trafficking?
Exactly, that is the issue.
Children.
Indian judicial system has loopholes and flaws. Welcome to reality.
I thought men were also there. No, for human trafficking.
Human trafficking is okay. It is only considered a serious crime if a child is human trafficked. Like if someone who below the age of 18 or above the age of 18, it's a woman. That's when it's a crime. And if a man is trafficked, it comes under kidnapping. It's no longer human trafficking.
And harassed or whatever.
Harassed, abused, or sexually violated, then it comes under battery and abuse, not under sexual offenses. Yeah, and also
That
domestic
is
violence.
so weird. The laws are there.
Domestic violence does not consider men as a victim. If you're getting divorced under domestic, okay. under any domestic circumstance you're getting divorced, the woman will be asked, was there any circumstance of abuse, exploitation, and one other thing, the man will be asked, was any of your money or any of your resources being exploited? Exactly.
What if it's the other way around?
Exactly. They don't care about it.
Do you remember that our cricketer divorced? What is?
Yes, Shami.
Shami.
He was put under false accusations of abuse, and he was removed from the cricket team for like a good amount of time. It cost him his career until he was put back to the team when the allegations.
Last that World Cup only he was brought back, and he played well. That time, that lady,
Yeah.
because of me only he could do that. See,
She's
she
a
wanted
crazy
to
woman.
get the credit of that. Means this is what the life. That is every opportunities and facilities are given to women.
But sometimes they misuse them, especially in the case of public harassment. Many women just to like reap the benefits of like the monetary funds that come from non-profits. If you're considered a victim, for that they do for that they put up false accusations against men.
This is all that higher ups means stardoms, those who are having this kind of things are happening. Ordinary person, it is not very easy to do it.
There is also a clause in the constitution that says a woman can be considered a victim of assault, sexual violence, if any person under any circumstances says that they get married to them under the pretense of getting married, they force them to have relations with them. It's considered abuse. So many people came forward to abuse that, like just because now their partner and them are no longer together, so they do not like the fact that now they want to press charges.
Yeah,
When they consented initially.
to marry,
Yeah.
but did not marry. But
It is the most exploitable law that we have. It is the most exploitable.
as per situation, also one's opinion can change.
Exactly. And also there is a law where it says that if you now think that that was abuse, that in now that you're thinking about the situation, you realize you redact your consent now, it can be considered.
Means many flaws are there.
It's so flawed. It is so pathetic for the people who actually suffer the consequences.
And the court take years and years and years to settle one case. By the time the people
What about the public, what do you call it? What about the defamation that you're causing to the person at hand?
yes.
You're not paying them back. Now they're a pathetic person who did something terrible, went to jail. When they did not do that and now they are freed, nobody looks at that. Everybody looks at the fact that they were at least accused.
Very
Johnny Depp.
only.
You have studied about one story that Bishop and the convict. Bishop and the convict.
English.
English.
We have that chapter, Bishop and its statistics.
We don't have that.
No, that is what by chance the person can be in that kind of condition to steal something. So,
Context steals the candlesticks of wisdom.
so actually that is sometimes because of hunger, that person steals some potato vada. That only I know.
Also,
Potato vada.
what?
So I'm giving an example only. So
You want potato vada?
So that cannot be a crime considering the condition of his poverty or hunger. But if he was imprisoned for life for stealing that one, then he will come out as a big criminal only.
Nobody's going to look at the crime they committed. Everybody's going to look at the sentencing that they got.
So this is
Get a pass or ration pass. Also,
अरे पर
वो
उन लोगों को पता है नहीं होता है कि
Food stamps की बात कर रहा है. Food stamps, like when you get
ग्रामीण वाला ना हंगर के लिए उसको
हाँ.
कुछ डालने
पर
तो
उनको
उसको
पता
मिलता
नहीं होता है ना कि
Indian policies are so-
केरोसिन और
Arey, that is
My
ration
baby
system.
हाँ वही राज
Listen, ration system is not very well distributed. My grandfather is a ration distributor.
How many grandfathers do you
I
have?
have 4 grandpas.
हैं
Like one my actual, rest all brothers. They're all my grandfathers.
मैं वही सोचा तेरे ग्रैंडफादर का
He's
कुछ
a
मल्टी चीज
postmaster.
करते हैं क्या पोस्ट मास्टर
हाँ,
कभी
postmaster.
ग्रेनरीज का कुछ करते हैं कभी
हाँ,
कुछ कभी
that is
Gun collect करते हैं.
that is Nanaji. This is different. I have okay from grandfather's side I have 4 grandfathers. From Nani's side I have 4
बट अगर
grandfathers.
बात ही समझती तभी भी ऐसा कुछ टॉपिक होता है तभी तेरे सारे ग्रैंडफादर कोई
Because नहीं पता my grandfathers are so indulgent in so many occupations.
Okay.
कोई भी चीज तो माय नाना जी
Like ration system is not the policies which are implemented for people in the poor sections of society get exploited by the people who are living in the middle class. Pehle it was the system that ration cards had 4 different colors, which was white, pink, blue, and yellow, and now they only have one color. When it was that system,
येलो कलर
when
Yellow color is below poverty, BPL,
Yeah.
BPL cards.
white card was for the people who do not need ration. It is just a card that exists.
But
So we can get
वो
one.
रिक्शा
nothing will get.
You won't get.
No,
Not
nothing.
get any benefits.
Any
But
benefit.
now they changed it. Now anybody can exploit. Abhi wants free.
तो वो बात की थी केरोसिन में मिला
Liter.
और टेक्स्ट बुक में केजी लिखा है पढ़ लेना
गलत लिखा है पांच
हाँ तो
मिनट
मैं भी कर
Okay. Now,
मुझे भी पता नहीं
okay, this is what exploitation, right? Against exploitation. In that exploitation, what all things you have read?
भव्य exploits air conditioning.
वो तो थी छोड़ो
Forced labor, beggary, trafficking women and children, and unjustified underpayment.
Underpayment. Okay.
भव्य is a
The Constitution mentions
तुझे
three
नहीं
specific evils
Ah.
and declares these illegal.
Hmm.
First, the
where she is
Constitution.
reading
page number 97.
Right against exploitation. Okay.
The framing of the sentence was wrong. Where she's reading?
तो गलत होगा
You just
Where is she reading?
Reading
Where she's reading?
रीडिंग ही बोल रहा मैं
Right. Where she reading?
रीडिंग अरे
97 is
But,
the third point.
Hmm.
First,
first.
the Constitution prohibits trafficking human beings. Trafficker means selling and buying of human beings, usually women, for immoral purposes.
Underline that point. What is that? Human trafficking. Second.
Second, the Constitution also prohibits forced labor or beggar in any form.
Forced labor. See, actually, earlier time there was a term called bonded labor.
Yes.
So,
I know. They were
they-
stamped and tattooed to be considered bonded labor.
yes, that is their family. That is one family that this Baga's family also attached to. Generation to generation, they are forced to do that work, and they were not paid for their work. Okay.
Beggar is a practice when the worker is forced to render service to the master free of charge or at a normal remuneration.
It is bigger. Beggar has double G's.
Beggar.
बीगा
Beggar only.
It is bigger.
When this
Different people pronounce it.
When this practice takes place on a lifelong basis, it is called the practice of bonded labor. Finally, the Constitution also prohibits child labor. No one can employ a child below the age of 14 to work in any factory.
I am legally
or in
allowed to
any
work.
other hazardous work such as railway and ports. Using this as a basis, many laws have been made to prohibit children from working in industries such as बीड़ी making.
बीड़ी में बीड़ी है वो
बीड़ी.
तो बोला.
बीड़ी
Firecrackers and matches, printing and
Dyeing.
Okay. So
Dyeing is a German child.
three types of forbidden work or prohibited. What all of things are there?
Kids under 14 cannot work in factories that
Any
produce factories that produce BDs, firecrackers, painting and dyeing.
painting
Then-
and dyeing. Guy.
No,
okay.
that.
Second one.
Second.
For you, women
Bonded.
cannot be.
Ah,
No, women cannot be. Like people.
Human
cannot be
trafficking.
especially women.
Then third is what? Bonded labor.
First one was.
हमने नीचे से ऊपर बोला.
Okay. 3 points you understood according to right against exploitation. Then, now right to freedom of religion. So, according to secularism, this is included in our constitution. Okay, secularism is that practice
Where all
to
religions.
introduce this religious part. What is that? Any person is allowed to practice, profess, and propagate the religion of their choice or not to.
Like no reason.
Yes,
Atheism.
atheist. So you understood that, right? Now still 2-3 parts are left. I think 2 more hours are required. No? One of the state and map work, history map work is. So 26 onwards.
From tomorrow we are small.
I'm not giving. I'm giving them.
I am giving. I am supposed to give. Aditi gets off free from all the labor. Why you are a bonded labor, Aditi?
देने आओ.
So one thing you have to see in this part, human rights part also you just read. Human rights.
Christmas, bro.
बड़ा बाहर में चल मेरे घर पे कुछ कोई भी इवेंट और फेस्टिवल पढ़ाई जरूर होनी चाहिए
मैंने
पढ़ाई
तो मम्मा को बोला मम्मी अभी जैसे एग्जाम अभी क्या कर रहे तो जानने के लिए रिवीजन मिल जाएगा ऐसे सुबह सुबह बोल के